Alright, here we go. So this is going to be the assembly tutorial for OnShape. For our clock here, we've already finished making all the parts and we're going to assemble it. There are a couple key things to remember. We need this back plate to slide, and we need the door to revolve or rotate. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'll show you how to turn it into a PDF and submit it for your points. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to start with a new assembly. You should already have an assembly default made, but I'm going to create a new one. So here we go, assembly 3, a blank workspace. What's nice about the assembly versus the part studio is that you're able to insert as many parts that you create, and you can fix them, fasten them together, and then they will stay that way, versus the part studio where we just made each piece. Now you could have multiple part studios, so you could have a part studio for every one component. Then you could have an assembly, multiple assembly files, and then assemble those together. But what I'm trying to get at is we're just going to build it all at once right now with all of the created parts based on the instructions on Canvas. So let's get into it. First step, assemble, insert. We're going to insert, let's start with our base front. So I click base front, bring it in, left arm, alright, let's put you there. Right arm, we'll put you there. Okay, a little slow. And then we're also going to do our mid plate. There. And zoom out a little bit. After the mid plate, we're also going to need that bottom plate. So here's our bottom cover. I made a second one with a slightly different measurement, but I'll go ahead and use the original one. Let's see. That's probably good for now. I mean, I'll put in the posts. I can always come back and insert more, but let's start with that. Hit OK, and there they are. They're in the assembly file. They're separate right now, but we're going to fix them together. So it's easiest to start with the base in this case. We're going to get the miters to line up. So here's one of the arms. This miter connects to this miter to create that 90-degree angle. Then we'll lock it in with these plates. Then we'll go with the posts. So let's go ahead and click Fasten Mate. So there's a couple different mates, M on your keyboard, but Fasten Mate is the one to use. Fasten. Now it's going to ask us to select two surfaces. Okay, first surface, let's just grab the very center here. It does allow you to grab edges and corners. I've noticed that if I grab this face right in the center and I click the next face right in the center, they should line up and get a nice tight miter. Okay, hit OK. I'm going to reset my view, and we're just going to do the next one. Here we go. Grab this, zoom in, be real intentional from where you click. Okay, there we go, right in the center of that miter to the center of this miter, just like that. Now it moved everything just to show me what it could possibly look like. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and you can see that the whole assembly moved. This is still my origin. I don't want everything to move again on me. These are glued together, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab one of these pieces and I'm going to fix it in place. So now everything will be moving to the base instead of the base moving to the object. Next step, we are going to grab our mid plate here, and I like to rotate it. I'll type in 90 here and rotate it the other direction, so it looks like it could just slide in. This just helps me assemble things when I can see how it's supposed to fit, and then I can use the correct mate after that. Alright, so fasten mate, because we don't want this piece to move. I'm going to grab the top edge in this case. Now it's going to grab it right in the middle. There's my mate connector, and we're going to put it in the middle of our base in this groove. Let's zoom out just a little bit. 2 fingers, click, drag. See that corner in there? Top edge to top edge. Let's grab that. Okay, before I hit OK, zoom out. Does it look correct? Yep, looks like it's in its groove. So we are going to hit OK. Now we're going to do our next one. So I'm going to hit X there, get out of my mate, grab this. You can drag it wherever you want. And like I said, I like to rotate it. So we need to rotate it this way and this way. Okay, that's how it's going to end up going in. So now I know what edge to grab. So fasten mate, top edge. Okay, zoom in. Let's grab this top edge in the back of the groove. Just like that. Good. Hit OK. Now, this bottom plate is the original size. I made a second one where it's a little bit shorter in width, so you can actually drop the back plate out of the clock and change the batteries. So we fixed that on the real project, not on the OnShape project, or the wood project. This is a real project too. All right, let's get our posts done. Posts got to go in. The groove that is closer to the edge needs to go to the back. That's for that back plate to slide in and out of. This one, okay, so right here would need to be flipped. So let's go ahead and let's flip it this direction. Okay, so let's see here. So it goes like that. Good. So 180. And then we're going to flip it the other direction. 180. And there it is. Back groove should line up with the next back groove. Here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to grab, you guessed it, fasten mate, and we're going to get the edge of this face flush with the edge of this face. Okay, and we need the bottom of the post to be on top of this board. So what that's going to look like, I mean, there's multiple ways to assemble this, but I found that you could just grab this little corner here. Corner to corner. Right there. And it's going to fasten that corner together. Hit OK. That one's done. Okay. Zoom in again. Let's grab the next one. Oh, I'm already in it. This corner. Okay. I got that mate on that left-right post to the base. Right, that corner. There it is. Hit OK. See how the top plate has clearance for that groove? This middle plate, or this bottom one, sorry, does not. So we would have to cut that down. All right, our posts are now assembled. What is next is to grab more components to insert. So we're going to insert more components. We might as well we'll do the back cover. We'll do the base cover. Let's do let's get the door right and left arm in, the door top and bottom in. We'll get the top cover in, and we'll get the faceplate in, and that should be the rest of the components. All right, hit OK. Let's start with our cover. This cover here, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just rotate it real fast. It's not like the rotates have to be perfect, but it's going to have to slide in sort of like so. So that's going to help me determine what to grab. I'm just going to grab this bottom edge right there, and we're going to fix it to this bottom edge right there. Okay, there it is. It's inserted. Nice tight fit. You can see that the top of the cover is flush with the base. Zoom out. Time to do the next one. Let's do this faceplate. Okay, this faceplate is going to get locked in. You can see there's a hole for the clock mechanism. We're going to just grab an edge there. Now it's grabbing the middle. I might need to change it up and grab a corner here. So let's hit X on that. If I grab this corner right there, okay, it's creating the mate connector. So I'm grabbing the corner. Let's go ahead back to our clock, and we're going to stuff it right in the front against this corner. Now let's see if we did this right. I'm trying something a little new here. Corner the corner. All right, you can see that it is not in the position we think it should be. So let's rotate it. Okay, if it's not in the groove, we'll have to flip it. So it looks like it is not in the groove. If we flip it and rotate it, oh, that's not going to look good either. So looks like I grabbed the wrong corner. Now there's a way that we can kind of just fudge it. You see the X, Y, and the Z here. We can offset it. And currently it is off in the Y direction. So let's just type in -1. All right, -1 inch, that is way too much. We need this plate to be in the groove. How about 0.1? Close. There's still a little bit of interference there. 0.125. There it is, the width of the bit. It fits. So there's the front plate. The next plate is going to have to go in the back. Now this plate is the one that needs to slide. So we're going to use our different type of fasten. So slider mate. Slider mate allows the component to slide on the mate connectors you select. So we want to slide up and down the groove. Well, that would mean it's going to slide on this edge. So let's grab the edge. Did I get it? Yep, mate connector of back cover. Let's throw it in the groove. Now I grabbed that back corner. So let's think about this. I think it has to go into this back corner. Right there. Zoom out. Is it in the correct spot? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and rotate. That's better. Hit OK. And let's give her a test. So looking at our instances over here, these are all of our parts. Here's our mate features. Slider. Let's go ahead and hit X. We got our slider 1. It should slide up and down the groove. Okay. Let's keep that flush on the top. We're going to add our next one, the top cover. This component here should have a round over. The round over needs to be facing up. Let's go ahead and grab it, click it, drag it, rotate it, flip it over. Good enough. Okay, now I have it rounded on all sides. It is actually an aesthetic choice that you guys can make on what you want to round it. Doesn't have to be round over, doesn't have to be every side. But when I go to put this on, we're going to use fasten mate, as we don't want this component removable. We can grab any edge we really want. I'm just going to grab this back edge. Okay, so the bottom corner edge. Zoom out. Bring it on over. And I'm just going to select this edge right there. Now you can see it is not mounted in the spot we like. We're going to use the offset tool to correct it. So there's our Z, X, Y. We're going to have to go -Z and +Y. So let's start with offset. Type in -3. Okay, not enough. I'm looking for kind of symmetry here. -4. No, -5. That's looking pretty good. You can see that it's a little off. So we could pause this for a minute. Oh, don't hit escape. That's going to cancel everything. Let's go ahead and refasten it. Back edge to this back edge. Zoom out. Okay, offset, still negative Z in this case, negative 4.5. Hit left, see how the cap is slightly off? I'm gonna hit OK, we're gonna save it, we're gonna fix it. There should be a measurement tool in here to figure out these parts. So if you hit X out of the mate connectors, here is some measurement tools, and you should be able to grab this edge, this face, to this edge, and the distance happens to be, let's see here, looks like we're going to go off of the green one there. It looks to be from one face to the other face 1.125. Alright, if we click back off here, and we're going to click this face to this face, this one happens to be negative 1.875. So we could subtract those and meet in the middle. So we're going to have to move over just a little bit more. We could add those up and then divide them. So I'm just going to do a quick math here. So 0.625 divided by 2. Let's see here. Scroll back down into our mate connectors. Let's go ahead and hit fasten. And we're going to have to add a little bit here. So we're going to add 0.3125. Hit OK. And split the difference. So now it looks perfectly in the center. Now this is also, the next step's up to you. If you think if it doesn't look good completely flush to the back, you could send the Y direction maybe a ½ inch and give it a little lip on the back. Okay. There it is. That's the cap using the offset feature. The next step is to build the door. And then with the door, we're going to want it to revolve. So let's go ahead and assemble it. Now, when I did this in class, I ended up gluing the right arm to the left arm, which shouldn't be the case. It has to go every other. So if this is door arm left right, okay, this is door arm left right, so that's going to have to go about here. Let's go ahead and rotate it. This arm needs to be in between, so let's go ahead and rotate this one like so, and this guy, last one, needs to rotate the other way. Each one of these arms has a groove, a little slot there. That's for the glass pane to sit. This square stock here, that's going to be glued on after the fact to hold in that glass pane. This needs to face in on the clock so you don't see it. Alright, let's go ahead and assemble these. Mate connector. We are going to grab this face, just like we were doing our miters earlier, right in the center. We're going to glue center to center. Do our grooves line up? Yes, they do. Let's hit OK. Okay, reset our view. Next one is this guy. This face to this face. Go ahead and hit OK. Lastly, this face to this face. Just like so. Hit OK. Now we got our frame done. It is all welded together. It should move as one unit, just like our clock. Should move as, well, never mind, it won't move. We fixed it. The slider will move, because that's not fixed. We put a slider constraint on it. We're going to get our door to rotate. So start off with rotating your door. We got to figure out which way it goes on, as this door, okay, is not a perfect square, it's a rectangle. So let's rotate it this direction, stand it up on end, 90. Let's flip it around, also 90. Okay, and hit left here. Will this door fit just perfectly? All right, you can see there's quite big of a gap on the top and bottom, and as I slide the door over, looks like it peeks out both sides. I should really actually just bring this frame forward. Right there. So let's see which way it looks better. Does it look better this way? Or does it look better the other way? Let's go ahead and rotate it 90 degrees. And it's probably going to look better this way. Pretty much flush on the edges of the clock posts. And you want a little bit of room between the top cap and the base. You don't want the frame to be rubbing on either of those surfaces. You're going to have to float it when you install the hinges. So it could scratch the finish and get wedged in there. It just won't work very well. So our final assembly step before we make the file to submit the project, we're going to use Revolute. So this is going to allow rotation between two edges you selected. So go ahead and we're going to grab this post edge here. I prefer it mounting here. Suppose if you want your clock to open up the other way, that's fine. And we're going to grab this edge. So back edge to back edge. That's kind of where the hinges are roughly going to mount. And we're going to select it. Notice how only one of these posts moved. Should be okay. All of these should transfer with it. Now notice a little bit of interference there. Okay, that's not possible. Let's offset it. We're just going to offset the Z in this case. Looks like we need to go negative Z. Negative Z, bringing this frame back up 1 inch. Oh, I must have got that wrong. Why did it go down? -2. Yep, it's only going further down. Let's go the other direction. 3 inches. Oh, way too tall. 2 inches. Too tall. 1 inch. It's a little bit of guess and check. Again, you can always just get out the measuring tool and get it exact. But let's do 1.25. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's go 1.4. There it is. I think that's going to suffice. Hit OK. There we go. The rest of the frame goes with it. Reset our view. Click and drag. Open and close. And that's it. The clock OnShape assembly is now done. So I'm going to end this now. I'll make another video on how to submit this. So thank you for watching.